Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live Game Changers Experience live show with myself, Adam Strong. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about how to attract your ideal prospects, make a bigger impact, but also how to increase your sales as well. And there's a real kind of like cross collaboration between all three, and I'll kind of diversify into that a little bit. But I've also got a huge announcement for today, like massive, huge announcement, right? And I'm excited. Literally, like when some of you may have seen me really excited, but literally my energy's all over the place. I'm bouncing all over the shop, a bit like a kid in a candy store. You know, that is kind of like how I'm feeling right now. I'm like super pumped. So if you if you're listening to me, do me a favor, use the hashtag live, use the hashtag replay. That would be like super awesome. But also, I feel like what's really important as well is that if anything resonates with you, okay, and if you feel like this video is going to help someone, and especially with the announcement, please do me a favor, tag that individual, because otherwise they're going to miss out. And one of my big visions, or my big vision, is really to help 100,000 entrepreneurs and leaders like yourself that want to go from kind of like, they want to go from where they are to like, you know, they want to create this massive, purposeful, impactful, profitable business. And I want to help you guys do that. So listen, I'm excited about today. As I always mention to you, please do me a favor, give us a like, share, or comment section below. That'd be super awesome. And, you know, it's interesting. If you're listening to this on the podcast, by the way, I'll make sure that you put all the, you know, sort of description notes below. So I want to kind of like, I was going to say to you, I kind of lost my train for thought there, but I'm really excited about today. I really am. So it's a really interesting thing, and I want to quickly share a quick story, if I may. So I don't know if you guys know. So it's a big shout out here. We've got people like, you know, sort of coming in here. Hey, Sandra, how you doing? Hope you're well. Interestingly enough, I met a wonderful lady based in California, and she was over here on our podcast. She'd actually pitched to me to be featured on the podcast, and it was interesting because we had such amazing chemistry with her. And it's interesting because then we were like, let's jump onto another call, on a separate call, and see if we can brainstorm some different ideas about, we have very similar core values, but we also have very similar visions as well. So we actually came up with the ideology of creating a challenge. And it's interesting because, again, the power of human connection, right? The power of energy, so important. Intuitively, I'm very in tune with kind of self-awareness and, you know, who to collaborate and who to do partnerships with. I get approached on a daily basis. A lot of people I turn down, obviously 98% of people I turn down. But it was just like, literally, it was like kind of a love story, even though we're kind of like not in love, but you know what I mean, right? So, and then we kind of came up with the idea of a challenge, which we're going to be launching. And I'll tell you more about that actually during today's session. I want to jump into today's session, which is all about prospecting impacts and making more sales. So I want to get straight into kind of the prospecting stuff, because one of the things that I have found in being an entrepreneur and leader and working with a lot of clients is that it's not generally most people's business models, you know, they're generally very good. You know, most of the people that I work with, you know, they've got a really good product. Most people are extremely knowledgeable, but also they've got huge amounts of experience and credibility. But that's not enough, okay? And a lot of the clients that I work with have this huge amount of wisdom, but they're just not sure how they can effectively monetize it and turn that kind of value, that mountain of value, if you like to call it, into an actual business, right? So running a business, you know, is very different from, you know, going to college, going to university or whatever it might be, getting your like qualifications, getting some experience, completely different, right? But it's interesting. So today, let's go into prospecting first of all, because one of the things that I have found, and again, this is just from experience, I have found that most people just need to be fine-tuned a little bit in terms of like their approach, right? Because what it boils down to, if you want to grow your business this year in 2023, what it boils down to is prospecting. But I'm not just talking about any old prospect, right, that came up the woodwork. I'm talking about qualified prospects. Okay. This is really important because if you have, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's for me super important. And as part of that kind of quantity versus quality formula, if you like, it's also about positioning. Okay. So, everyone has their secret sauce and their USP and how you can help people and stuff, but it's also about how you position yourself in terms of like, are you available to the mass market? Like for me, I'm not. I know how many people I want to work with on an annual basis, right? What my capacity is that. Does that make sense? But anyway, okay, so prospecting, let's go into that. Let's talk about the importance of prospects. And the thing is that one thing that I will tell you now is that if you want to grow your business, you have to continue to increase the prospects. But after that, there is a process. So you've got your qualified prospect, but there's also the engagement side of stuff. So, creating content like I'm doing right now, creating content, but building that kind of like awareness. It's interesting. So like the other day, I think it was like last week or whatever it might, 2 weeks ago, I had someone reach out to me and they're like, hey, so I just saw your video and it reminded me that I needed to contact you. I need some help, okay, in my strategy, in my business strategy. And so it was kind of this queuing block, right? So that's the great thing about doing content. And then after that is then nurturing. So then it's a bit like kind of caring for a baby. How do you kind of like nurture that relationship, okay? And, figure out how you can effectively help people. Does that make sense? That's like super important. So you've got the prospecting, then you've got the positioning, and then you've got the nurturing side of stuff. Okay. So it's like a 3-step process. So in regards to prospecting, now obviously there's some different ways in which you can prospect. Now, me and my business partner now, Beata Chalet, we've actually created a challenge and we've identified 4 particular strategies that a lot of the thought leaders are using, they're leveraging actually, and that it's really working down to a T. It's very much in tune with what we want in today's world, right? So what are those 4 key tactics and strategies that you need in order to grow the business? So, what I was going to say, tactic number 1 is podcasting. Podcasting is amazing because it can do one of 2 things, right? The first thing it can do is it creates longevity, not just around your brand, but it can create what I call content for the long game. Does that make sense? Because something might not come about like instantaneously, but further on down the line, something may come out of the woodworm and it's like, well, where do you come from? I'm like, oh, I listened to a podcast. Like, oh, I recorded that like 12, 18 months ago. Do you know what I mean? So that is kind of, and I love podcasting, as you guys know, having a podcast, which is in the top 2% global rankings. And, podcasting, crucially important, right? Everyone believes that you need a book, right, in order to build your brand and position and create authority and credibility. I disagree. I actually believe that you need a podcast more than anything else. Podcasting is where it is. And the market for podcasting, the increase in podcasting as well is astronomical. A lot of listeners, actually, I think it's like 5.3 billion listeners. And year on year, we're seeing roughly about a 20 to 30% increase in the listenership in terms of podcasts. So the growth is huge, right? So that's the first thing. Secondly, the one thing that I love doing, and Sandra will detest this because she's listening in, is LinkedIn. Okay. LinkedIn is one of those amazing platforms. Now, LinkedIn is it's got just under, I believe, just under 1 billion people on LinkedIn. Okay, and most people, yes, it's for business and things like that. But actually, LinkedIn has become extremely smart in the way its platform in terms of functionality is working. So I know for a fact, for example, LinkedIn are launching a new kind of like LinkedIn group. So they're like, kind of giving that a new lick of paint, if you like. But also things like, being able to create content over on LinkedIn as well, whether it be through a newsletter, whether it be through, I was going to say, LinkedIn newsletter, and posting loads of different things that you can do, polls. But also, that's not just the only thing, but also in terms of like what's really important is one of the things that I'm going to be teaching during the challenge is how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. One of the key reasons why a lot of prospects, a lot of kind of like people escape the net, right? So if you can imagine like you're trying to catch something and there's like a leaky bucket, if you like. One of the reasons why people don't get as much leads and as much qualified prospects coming through their funnel, if you like, is because their LinkedIn profiles are just not optimized. So I'm going to be going through like the importance of, making sure that what are some of the things that you need to look for? What are some of the kind of ways in which you can fine tune that LinkedIn optimization? But also some of the things that you should be doing on a daily basis that's going to help attract your ideal qualified prospects, right? Super important. So that's number 2. Okay. Hope this is important. Number 3 is product ecosystem or product offering, because I feel like this is really important, because if you're in this kind of like train for thought of trading time for money, I will 100% challenge that train of thought. The reason for that is because I used to believe that the harder you worked, the more you get paid. That was my train for thought, right? That was how we grew up. That's how our parents kind of trained us, right? Son, go to school, go to university or go to college, good grades, get a good job, all of that kind of stuff, or open a business in this case. And I always thought that if you worked harder, you'd get paid more. But actually, it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. So one of the things that we're going to be doing during the challenge is we're going to be teaching you guys the importance of diversifying what I call a product ecosystem. What does that look like in a nutshell? And kind of moves you away from the whole kind of trading time for money type of aspect. Does that make sense? Because again, it's a broken model, it's a broken record. And there's so many different ways in which you can create increased sales and reoccurring revenue streams, again, just by fine-tuning your product offering. And again, me and Beata are actually going to be going through this in great detail. And the last one, which I will mention to you really, really quickly, something that I'm like super passionate about, is summits, right? So if you guys have seen what I do, I've run 3 different summits over the last couple of years, and super successful, great way to build qualified leads, but also a great way it's a great personal branding exercise more than anything else. And it all starts with creating the big vision. Does that make sense? So I'll be giving people a framework about how you can launch your own summits if you choose to wish to do so, type of thing. And the benefits of why everyone should run a summit. Because again, it's just a great way. And yes, there's a lot of hard work involved, which is maybe what scares off a lot of people. However, I can guarantee you the rewards outstrip the work that's put in. I know, because I'm a testament of that. I've been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. Okay. I've been in this game for way too long. I just want to kind of like say that for you, like seriously, all goodness. Anyway, so those were the 4 main things that I'm going to be covering. Now, for you guys that are listening in, do me a favor. If you have any questions, use the comment in the comment section below. That'd be super awesome. Also, I'd love to hear from you, right? So if you've got if you like to, I always say share the love. So if you love what I'm sharing, that's number 1. But also, if there's anything that resonates with you, okay, I'd love to hear from you, okay? Super. I would just love to hear that. Human connection is so important. I feel like I'm like not only adding value to people or adding to you guys, but more importantly, like there's an element of truth in what I'm saying. Does that make sense? It will just make me feel so much better about myself, I guess. Anyway, use the hashtag live, use the hashtag replay, and please like, share, or comment. Tag anyone that you feel is relevant to sharing these conversations. So one of the big announcements that I make, drum roll please, is me and Beata, as I said to you, we've launched this amazing challenge. It's called the Unlimited Client Attraction Challenge. And we're going to be sharing, it's basically, it runs for 6 days. There'll be homework involved and lots of, you'll attract lots of epiphanies and light bulb moments. There'll be lots of things that, there will just be a lot of teachings that you guys, and listen, we're not going to be kind of like scraping the surface. We're going to be going in deep, right? So we're going to go deep, right? And give you kind of the frameworks and the methodologies that you need in order to take this to the next level. Does that make sense? So if you want the best 2023, say, hell yeah, I'm interested, okay? Again, put that in the comment section below. Really super important. I'm actually going to put the URL down below just for you guys that are interested. February 23rd to 28th of this year, 2023, runs for 6 days. And it's theclientattractionchallenge.com. That's the name of that's the URL. So if you go to that, it's practically for free, as in FREE. It's practically free. Now, I say it's practically free. What I mean by that is that it's not quite free. So, but you can join for as little as $7. Now, if you're listening to me and you're thinking to yourself, oh, no, it's $7. Guess what? This challenge isn't for you, because a scarcity money mindset isn't going to work, because we're giving you guys like deep strategies. This could like make or break 2023 for you. I kid you not. What I mean by that, does that make sense? So I put the link below. Join the Unlimited Client Attraction Challenge. I'm hoping that I'm going to see lots of you guys. This is like my huge announcement, like really big announcement. We've been working behind the scenes really hard, me and the team. And we've now got everything in place, which I feel like is really super important. We've already got people that are already booked on, which is amazing. And the way that the structure of the sessions work, so the first launch day is going to be up to 2 hours. And then every day it's 45 minutes. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, well, guess what? I've got too much on my plate. Or if I do this, I'm going to be overwhelmed by like all of this knowledge, because you've been on similar challenges, or you've listened to Russell Brunson, or you've listened to Les Brown, or whatever it might be, okay? One of the big gurus. I can guarantee you that this is completely different. Now, I will say that, and I will personally guarantee that if you don't enjoy what you're about to experience in terms of the challenge, okay, and you've joined us, I will offer you a full money back guarantee. That's how confident I am with regards to the challenge. So listen, what have you got to lose? No risk, no reward. Okay. So I've just taken all the risk away. All you've got is a reward. So that's entirely up to you how you move forward. But I would love to see some of you guys join the Unlimited Client Attraction Challenge. If you're listening to this on the podcast, I'm going to put the description, the URL down below, by the way. And if you are listening to me live, I would love to see some of you guys saying, I'm in. Put that below, okay? I'm in, okay? And if you can't get the URL, I'll make sure that some of the team send you personally. That would be super awesome. Anyway, enough from me. Hope you've enjoyed today's particular episode. I certainly have. And I hope that it was great to reconnect with some of you guys. I'd love to just see more of you engage with some of the things that we're doing online. And listen, I'm like super pumped and excited. Like, this is next level shit. I'm just kind of like saying that because I don't get too excited about too many things, but this is like blood, sweat, and tears. This is like one of the best things that you can ever do this year. I can guarantee you that. Okay. So listen, enough from me. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'll see you again here on the next Game Changers Experience. Take care. See you soon.